Hey everyone, CC Genesis here with another deck strategy, Wanderer deck strategy guide featuring vampires instead of just particular. We're going to speak of a particular tribal theme. So these are particularly my two. Well, honestly, this is my favorite vampire ruler, but I know there's out of three, these are two best for use of vampires because Rezard's more of a stealth-based deck, revolves around the whole stealth mechanic, but we'll go around that later. So, just a simple idea is that you can play this with blue-black, black-red. You have access to 10 new black-red stones with the counter stones. You have access to 8 blue, black water stones, and also in conjunction with the counter stones. So I'm just going to show you still a few simple cards. So you have access to one of the strongest killing spells, to some of the most strongest killing spells in the game, while also having access to the strongest removal spells in the game. You have access to 8 thunders, which means you can kill out the early game creatures. You can kill off your opponent with just 8 thunders by itself. You have also access to Necronomicon because they're playing black, so you have access to 16 thunders if you really needed to. You can honestly kill your opponent with just the thunders itself, while having access to cards like Black Moonbeam, while having access to cards like the Flames of Outerworld for very efficient early removal / late game removal as well. You have Duel of Truth, which hits both Jace / Resonators, which Alucard loves to abuse. Most of the vampires love to abuse it too because they're really big bodies. Like, they're really big bodies with very cheap to play. They have very big synergy with other vampires. Sometimes they have, for like Bishop Mikage's types of vampires, they deal with a bunch of counters, remove a counter, kill a creature with counters, add more counters to your guys' steal counters. Then you have access to pretty much another version of Duel of Truth. Instead of like having to fight, you just backstab them and gain that much life. No, sorry, you gain half the life equal to their attack, which is perfectly fine. If you're going to play Alucard, you have the access to Mujdart. You also have access to Camilla. I mean, you have access to Camilla anyway, but with Alucard, you're able to turn things into human with Mujdart, kill them, turn into a human, kill them, and then take control of the Resonator. Alucard also when Alucard kills a Resonator, you take control of it. So you have a lot of combat situation cards like Duel of Truth and Bloodsucking Impulse. You have access to basically a Crucifix. As long as you target a vampire, they can't be targeted. You also pay blood to add back to your hand. So if you add this to Vampire Servant, nothing on your field can no longer be targeted. If you add 2 Vampire Servants, it's not like Christie or Arla, where you can't target them. You can still target the individual servant and vampire. So if you have it with the coffin, nothing on your field can no longer be targeted. Mikage combos well with the deck because of the fact that you just have a bunch of removal spells. You can combo with Demon Flame as well. You have access to Starting Death, Space Time Anomaly. You have access to discard effects like Scorn, Nameless Night, Nameless Mist, Lapis' Darkstorm, Spiral of Despair, Valentina's Reach if you're playing blue and black. Like, vampires has such a huge card pool for removal. They have their own searcher, and Laura, she searches herself. She can search any other vampire. They have so many good vampires right now. Like, you have Rinka, you have Sara, you have Secret Messenger, you have Carmilla still, you have Servants, you have Vampire Staff. Like, there's so many good vampires right now that you can search, and they get so much advantage off the vampires themselves. Like, they have such a good, like, they have really decently big bodies. And you have the first daughter, which is actually really strong. Then you have access to your own Soul Hunts. You have access to Soul Hunt again. Like, the vampires themselves are just so strong, and there's so much playability with them that you have so much variety. Like blue black, blue red, you could do blue black and blue red at the same time in the same deck. Like you have so much explosive tempo builds. You could do black, green, white as well, and just legitimately just play counter spells to protect your vampire resonators on field. You don't even need to have the removal either, because you still have access to Stoning Death, Bloodsucking Impulse, and power absorption. Like then you have access still to, and then you have all the discard effects too. Like just, black is getting a lot stronger, especially in Wanderer format. There's so much you could do with vampires. There's so much you could do in general. And just to tell you guys, this is just a guide. Like Alucard, when something is killed on your opponent's side of the field, you deactivate it for free. All the vampire rulers have imperishable naturally. He has imperishable and flying. And then when you kill something, you take control of Resonator. So you kill something with this or with this, you just take control of free Resonators. And then Mikage, I know there's Alice Roll Mikage decks, OTK decks, which is probably a lot better than just pure vampires, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta have fun with the game. And then Mikage just makes all your other vampires bigger. He also has Flying and Imperishable, which having natural Imperishable is still very strong because the only way to get rid of it is Death Scythe and Blazer. So just having a natural Imperishable is nice. Well, there's also Final Forfeit, but no one played that Final Forfeit anyway beforehand, so who's going to play it in Wanderer, right? So having access to 10 different sources of blue-black, having 10 different sources of black and red can make both these, can make this a very powerful and consistent tribal deck that I can't keep, and I just want to keep repeating myself because you have such strong removal. Like an RDE, you have such strong black-red removal and such, like, it's insanity. Then you have some mediocre vampires, but you know what? You just don't play those, obviously. But I think the vampire tribal theme in Wanderer format can be extremely strong. And I hope to see it very strong because you have such powerful bodies. Like Shara's a 5/5 for a 1-drop. Yeah, of course she can't attack, blah blah blah. But she can still block. You can still use her for Dual Truth. You can still use her for Bloodsucking Impulse. Kill off small creatures. And then she just gives her own. She gives herself counter, so she's able to attack with herself. And then Rinka attacks. She gains another counter. Her first star is just able to pump them, steal all the counters, and repump them. You're able to protect your vampire resonators with this. Like, it's insanity. Well, I'm just gonna keep on repeating myself at this point, guys. Like, there's so much I'd want to say, but I don't know how to say it. That's the real problem here. And then, even with the new black redstones, you're able to make your opponent exile a card out of the game, so you already have knowledge starting out of the game of knowing what your opponent's playing. Like you basically force him to mill a top card of the deck with the Lapis of Stone. So you have a general idea of what they're playing. So black-red is probably the better way to do this type of deck list because of all the kill spells that you have and all the fight me spells. But I did want to show you the other option of blue-black. I'd probably recommend blue-black more if you're playing Alucard, just because of Carmilla. And that's mainly it. Like you have your own Stratos. Then you have cards that obviously add them back to your hand, like Arya, as if you decide to play Arya. Then you have the Vampire Castle, for forgot what it's called, and then you also have the card that basically reborns a vampire and activates her enter skill, so Carmilla basically. Like, there's so many ways to play this. You have access to Book of Ebon. Again, Necronomicon, I'm going to say that again. all the discard spells, all the kill spells. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm basically just mumbling at this point, repeating myself sometimes. I hope you guys like the fact that I'm doing these Wanderer strategy guides, and I hope you do leave an input down in the comments below. And I hope you all have a great day. Leave a comment down below telling me what you want to see out of the next Wanderer guide maybe. Or if you want to see another Wanderer match, I would like to record more Wanderer matches, obviously. But I gotta find people that are obviously willing to play Wanderers. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.